I hit the go live. There it is. Now we're live. What's going on, everybody? Welcome to MLB Live Before Lock here on the Stokastic YouTube channel. I'm Eric Lindquist. You can follow me at Eric Lindquist. That's that thing right there. And that guy right there, lovely Matt Bellman, Fantasy Tips Matt over on X. Go give him a follow here. Yeah, we're tilting our faces off about this Athletics Houston game here because I had gambling. You had some DFS in the early session, and neither of it went very well for us in that spot. Although five-man stack Houston, both your lineups, that was at least, well, you're not losing money, so that's a plus.
I'm not losing money, but a swap I made is costing me a lot of money right now. So hopefully can overcome it. Unlikely, but maybe this show gives me some good juju.
Oh, we got some good juju coming. Juju Smith-Schuster, the bad juju. This is good juju. That's what we're getting after. So I'm excited for that. We're going to have to, right after, well, not right after us. It's going to be, 35 minutes after we conclude this show. Got, 39 minutes to break this down here before the lock of the main DraftKings and FanDuel slates. And then we will turn it over to NFL Live before lock there. But you'll have a little bit of time, a little bit of interim to reserve your lineups, do whatever else you got to do in the NFL streets before we have Greg Ehrenberg and Laffy break everything down for Seattle, Arizona. That'll be a good one. But yeah, other than early slate, just tilting my face off, had some good, some bad, but probably going to be down a little bit here when it's all said and done. Yeah, no, definitely going to be down a little bit before it's all said and done. Let's get ourselves to the afternoon window where we don't have this Philly-Miami game, which I thought looked really good for offense. Almost played the over of the game as well. Just isolated some long balls. I think basically home runs look awesome across the board in that one. Surprised after yesterday. Ball's flying out there in Philly, but that is not on this slate. Anything you want to break down here for this main slate? Because I think we have some interesting tournament options.
Yeah, I think we've got some really good tournament options. I love it when the team pitching I like lines up with how the tools and sims line up. So Excited to break this one down with you.
Well, I'm going to hit run contest simulation here one more time for the people in the back because, well, it's really good stuff. And you want to be checking it out. You also want to be checking out these stochastic tools that we got rocking for you right now. The DFS sims you can get for free when you sign up with any of those sites, that being Underdog Fantasy, Onyx Odds, the newest to the group brigade, which is just awesome that they are in the link join here for you. We want to hook you guys up with a month of the sims, and this is a very easy way to do it. You sign up for anybody there on your screen, Sportsbooks, pick them, what have you. Awesome opportunity for you going to stokastic.com/DFS-sims-4-free/ and then, well, you could also just go to the video description box below and sign up for it there. Get yourself 1 month just by following it. It takes like 2 minutes to be able to go through all those steps, send the email over once you get everything settled, and boy, oh boy, will you be happy that you did, because we got this beautiful Sims tool that is now all done. It's almost like I knew I could be able to do that. Let's favorite some of these beauties. I'm playing one lineup here because I'm going to be playing a lot of NFL, but I really like this tournament slate just for single entry specifically. But let's begin at pitcher like we always do. And I think, no doubt about it, when we go to the exposures here, we're going to have a lot of Eric Lauer. You get the southpaw up against Boston, neutralizes him a little bit here, but he's one of those guys that's been in a bullpen role. Then they sent Jose Barrios, and now you're going to be looking probably as Lauer being your main guy who eats up most of the innings. I don't know how far he can really pitch into this one, considering he pitched on the 21st, but the Sims really like him at 7,800. How do you feel about him in relative to some of the other spots on the slate? Because I have a definite take on Lauer.
Yeah, I'm not really in on Lauer. I don't hate it. I don't love pitching on this slate, but I think it's kind of going to be an all hands on deck approach for the Jays tonight, looking to get a W here. They've been sliding. He's coming in, we think. I'm sure he does come in, but I'm not sure how long he's going to pitch for. And yeah, I prefer lefties against Boston, but I'm not like going out of my way to pick on Boston right now with better options that one a little bit more expensive, one in my opinion cheaper. So I'm good on Lauer. I don't think he's a bad play. Like the only really great pitcher on this slate is Rodon. So you got to roster two. I don't think you're crazy to roster Lauer as your SB2. He's just not for me.
I think there's a world we get only like 3 innings tops out of Eric Lauer.
Sure.
I mean, for single entry, I'm playing one lineup. There was no chance in God's green earth I was going to play Eric Lauer, but we've got him projected right around 15 fantasy points here at Stokastic today. I'm going to call that a little bit high, but if you're making 20 max, if you're making, 150 lineups today, congratulations to you. That is wild to me on this 6-gamer because, we got NFL coming up right after, but hey, money is money, baby. Go get that money. Eric Lauer, I think he'd be somebody who leaked into more than, 10, 15% of my lineups there, but I think he's appropriately owned to some extent, especially for like single entry. I strongly prefer going to the savings of Emerson Hancock. And we'll talk about him in a second, but let's talk the expensive guys because we have Carlos Rodon. We have a Mets team that's bullpen is absolutely in shambles. David Peterson, absolutely nothing. Tong, I should just scream at Josh. I should just be mad at Josh because I had none of him. And all of a sudden he's my second highest owned pitcher in my allotment. Got me off of a lot of Taj Bradley, but you know what? It's my money. I'm not going to blame Josh, although fuck Josh, but Nolan McLean is probably in one of these spots where he's got to go pretty far into this one. It's not in a very appealing spot here against the Cubs. The wind's pretty mitigated today from what it looks like compared to yesterday, where there were a lot of hard hit 105, 106 mile per hour balls that went nowhere to center field. But how do you feel about the two expensive guys? Do you find yourself getting to Rodon, who's at 43% ownership, McLean at 16% ownership, or either of them enticing in small field for you?
Yeah, Rodon here. The owns is going to be there for sure, but he's like by far the best DFS, the best proven commodity, I should say, on this slate. Like McLean's been really good, but Rodon, we know who he is. Interestingly enough, he's a guy that's had a pretty up and down career, but we know who he is right now, more or less. Doesn't mean that he's not going to get hit tonight, but he's in the cleanest spot and he's the best DFS pitcher going. I like an off the board offense, so I have no problem eating the Rodon chalk. I guess if I were like dead set on playing all Yankees, they're expensive. They're going to be popular. He'll be popular. So I could see wanting to get away from him, but not needed for me. And I just don't think it's really needed to get away from him. Not that you can't. He's not the best pitcher to ever pitch, but he's certainly the top guy tonight.
Yeah, I think he is too. I think he's just a foundational piece here going up against a White Sox lineup that, have you looked at this thing? Have you looked at this today?
Yeah, it's not good. I mean, they're significantly better against righties. I feel like at least.
We have Derek Hill in our lives today. Corey Julks back in our lives today. Michael A. Taylor. We also have lefties. I mean, Edgar Quero going to be a switch hitter, but Kyle Teal and Colson Montgomery, they're lefties. And have you seen some of the numbers that we could potentially be getting here for a guy in Carlos Rodon going up against them and some of these southpaws? Yeah, this is about as good of a spot as you could possibly ask for. 28.8% strikeout rate for Rodon against lefties, 25% to righties, and does pretty good job of managing the power to both sides, which is kind of important. Looks like pretty good hitting weather up there in New York. I mean, it always is with the ballpark, but slight wind out, 92% humidity at first pitch. So that is something to make note of. I think there's definitely an opportunity for us to get to some bats, but I think we're going to mainly be focused on the bats from the Yankees side where, boy, oh boy, you have to pick and choose correctly because they are expensive. So pairing them with a Carlos Rodon, more difficult on a slate like this where DraftKings, they made some actual, they actually went out of their way to try to price these guys somewhat difficultly. Like Nolan McLean, I don't know really what to make of him. I mean, Tong has the much better strikeout stuff, but I do think going up against this Cubs lineup that we have a world where we could get more, where he just has to simply pitch into this one with this just decimated bullpen. You didn't even get out of the third inning for either of their last two starters. If you just look on FanGraphs, they just got bludgeoned, absolutely bludgeoned. And I mean, you got to win now, so they will have to quick hook it over to the bullpen if need be. But like, they need to try to do everything they humanly possibly can to open things up for these guys. Because what? Everybody pitched on Tuesday. Wednesday, Ryan Helsley did, a majority of the lifting. I doubt he'll be available for it. But, this is win now baseball for the Mets. I'm just worried that maybe he's not as long for this one as what's being projected. But, that is life, I suppose. So not going to be all that advantageous. Doesn't sound like you had much interest in him either. So let's get into this range where I think tournament stands can kind of be made. Parker Missick, Shota Imanaga. Cleveland, one game up on the Detroit Tigers. You have on the other one, Shota Imanaga. This is a Cubs team. Definitely wants to still win baseball games. Still trying to find that juju. Sounds like Kyle Tucker coming back tomorrow to DH for them. So take that for what you will. But how are we feeling about these two because I have a strong preference between the two.
Yeah, so do I. I mean, Imanaga is a guy I very rarely play, and I'm not starting
Correct.
tonight. Messick has been really good. Certainly more of an unknown than Imanaga, but I mean, what I know about Imanaga doesn't make me really want to play him. So I'll take the unknown and how good Messick has been against this Detroit team that is just in shambles. I mean, how do you not want to pick on Detroit right now? Cleveland just owns them. Doesn't mean it's going to continue tonight, but I see no reason why it wouldn't. Detroit's lineup, not very good right now. You know, patchwork against lefties. Messick isn't a sure thing and he's expensive, but on this slate, I think he's the clear second best guy for DFS purposes. If you want to say Hancock at 6K, I'm willing to listen to that too.
I mean, Hancock at 6K. I mean, these are the only three pitchers I'm remotely thinking about.
Same.
Single entry. Carlos Rodon, obviously, he's the guy up here. Nolan McLean has like a 4.5. Well, there's some 5.5s, like major juice to the, or sorry, major plus money to the over. I'm just going to be steering clear of a 10-3 McLean. It just sounds like you're really threading the needle now that the Mets are trying to do anything they can to win a baseball game today.
Yeah.
And then
it's a tough matchup also. And to your point, like in a lot of ways, the leash is shorter because just an all hands on deck approach right now for them.
Yep. And now I look at what Detroit's done against anybody, really, if we're just being honest, but like they have been so god awful against lefties, righties, doesn't matter. They do have a 105 WRC plus with their active roster over the course of this season, but you start trimming that down by month, it's just been tough sledding, that's for sure. So Parker Misick, somebody that I'm interested in as well, but I think it ends up just being more chalky than I would probably want normally, but I'm all right with it today. I'm going to play Carlos Rodon. I'm going to play Emerson Hancock. Now, Seattle's still trying to win baseball games themselves. They ended up partying a little bit yesterday. They got the 6-0, the big 6-0 for Cal Raleigh, and then they end up clinching the NL West. But there's still a 1 seed up for grab. And if Boston can do their best against Toronto here, they get to have a little bit of information going into the weekend. Maybe they try to give Cal a day off. I doubt it. I bet he DHs no matter what. I think that's probably the direction they go no matter what. But I am of the mind that Emerson Hancock is right-handed. He is facing a Colorado Rockies team that the entire year, if you are right-handed, you're probably in a great spot to rack up strikeouts. And that remains true today. It's just that Emerson Hancock sucks. And so this becomes the push and pull of the slate, I think, Matt. Who do you feel like your combination of two pitchers, your favorite two are? Because I'm going to embrace, I think, what I'm looking at here with Emerson Hancock, even though I don't love it.
My favorite two together is probably Rodon and Hancock.
Me too.
it's just the matchup. I mean, he's been actually okay out of the bullpen also. Like his season-long numbers are not good, and he hasn't been good as a starter, but he's a guy that he's been good like every stretch of the minors, hasn't put it together in the majors, but he's not facing a major league lineup here. So at this price point in this ballpark against this lineup, how do you not like Hancock with the other options we're given? You know, it's close between him and Messick because, again, Hancock hasn't been good as a starter. And I will say, I do like some Colorado exposure in my non-Hancock lineups. But if I were making one lineup, it would most likely be Hancock and Rodon.
Yeah, I know that he's going to be limited to some extent, but the guy throws at 99. He's set up as a bullpen arm here coming in, and he's 6K. And the things that a 6K pitcher can do for you today are far more interesting. So I'm on board with what the Sims are doing here by getting you double the field on an Emerson Hancock because of this price tag. If this price tag did not exist, if he was 7K, I don't think I would entertain it at all. And I'd be going to Parker Messick, somebody who's actually stretched out. Hancock goes from being a starter to a bullpen arm. It's been a long time since we've really seen him stretched out, but I just like the opportunity that I get for him to just rack up some strikeouts against Colorado and move along with their lives. So I'm going to be embracing the Emerson Hancock piece as you are. It sounds like no real need for me to go to Kiter Montero against Cleveland, 5,500 for him here. No real reason for me to go to, who's the other guy? Michael Lorenzen, who I'm on the over of that baseball game. I just absolutely love it. And Mitch Ferris is feral, if you will. Anybody else even to bring up from a pitching perspective? Because like if you're making 150, totally understand getting to mix and match. It's not a great pitching slate by any means, but strongly prefer just taking the savings to a 6K guy who gets to face Colorado for 3-4 innings tops.
I mean, maybe more than that. Like, why not?
Hopefully. I mean,
I don't think 4 innings tops is all I'm saying. Like,
okay,
I
find it hard to go crazy beyond that. He has not pitched more than 2 innings since September 1st. Well, no, since June 1st, and then he became a bullpen arm once he got sent back to Tacoma.
Yes, but we're a couple months away from him throwing 100 pitches. So I'm with you. I think that's what we can expect, but wouldn't be shocked if he gives you 5 innings here. I really wouldn't, depending on how clean it is, of course. But to your point, I think you're more right than wrong. No, there are no other pitchers that I'm even thinking about.
Yeah, I mean, they have a full bullpen at their disposal today. I mean, Matt Brash hasn't pitched since Sunday. Luke Jackson, woo, I am for real. Lou Gamina, I don't even know what that is, but that sounds exotic. I love it. Emerson Hancock. They have lots of guys that can kind of piggyback that they don't care as much about. Carlos Vargas, who, is somebody who can always pitch, high 18, low 20-ish pitches. So overall, this is a bullpen I've been paying a lot of attention to because this has been a ridiculously, what the kids would call, hot baseball team, but more so just trying to find any kind of angle. If there's somebody from Colorado who made sense to bet because you get such inflated numbers outside of Coors. Not really the case the last couple of days. And I probably won't do it against Hancock either, who's hasn't been a good starter, but I think out of the bullpen, he could end up being somebody who's actually serviceable for this baseball team.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, he's always had a good arm, but I know you're talking about from a betting perspective. I like a couple Colorado bats from a DFS perspective.
Okay.
Yeah, they're cheap. They're not going to get ownership, and Hancock has not been good. So I don't want to full stat them, but Moniak, Goodman, Krim up top, I don't mind it at all.
Let's take a look over here at FanDuel as well, because we have plenty of time. Once again, hit that like button if you could. We got 23 minutes? 23 minutes to break everything down for this slate. Then we'll have a 35-minute gap before turning it over to NFL Live Before Lock for Seahawks and Arizona Cardinals. That'll be lovely. From State Farm, from the stadium I went to last year to go watch my Vikings lose by 30 to the Rams. So good times. Good times. Let's take a look. It's in our book, Reading Rainbow, FanDuel. Carlos Rodon, 26.7% ownership coming his direction. Shota Imanaga sitting a little bit lower there, sitting around the 16% number. But, I think I could embrace the Imanaga a little bit more on FanDuel. We're obviously getting a stretched out pitcher, pretty important. I can tell you one thing. Eric Lauer's not going to be in my portfolio over there. Emerson Hancock, much more difficult to talk me into on a one pitcher site, but you only get so many options, Matt. And that becomes difficult to get away from the Carlos Rodon chalk, in my opinion. Shota Imanaga, though, definitely more appealing. But if you're making one lineup, is there a reason to click anybody other than Carlos Rodon at sub 30% ownership?
No, other than ownership. I mean,
right.
I
think, you look at the top pitchers tool, there's a case to be made where he's at 16% there. Yeah, it's negative leverage, but it's not it's not an egregious spot by any means. And I think Nolan McLean's actually in play more so for FanDuel, where, you get a decent outing from him and you get some of these other abbreviated outings potentially from the likes of a Hancock or a Lauer, and things are probably really switching in your favor.
Yeah, I'm with you there.
Any Michael Lorenzen?
No, I'm on the exact opposite of that tonight.
Yeah, I think I am too. I think I definitely am too. He is right-handed against the Angels, so at least want to point out that would it shock me if he racked up 7 or 8? No, but
of course 11, not. But he's also reverse splitsy.
He is very reverse splitsy. He is also facing a team that, I think has some familiarity with him, if you will. Played there for a while, and 215 expected ISO to righties, 184 expected ISO to lefties. You get Nolan Shanywell back in there. Who's been at the top of the lineup here for a week now. It's been good times for him since he got back off the IL. Looks just fine. So, yeah, I think that kind of covers it at pitcher. Anything else that we really want to break down other than hi, EMAC, just saying that. We got So Toxic. We got lots of people hanging out in the chat, the normals, the normies, if you will.
I miss EMAC. I can't wait to see him this weekend. Other than that, I got nothing.
All right. Well, let's get ourselves back over to Z contest generator. But I got to remind everybody quick while I'm doing that. Wait for it. Wait for it. Yeah. One more time for the people in the back. DFS Sims tools are free when you sign up at one of our partners down at the video description box below. It is super, super easy. All you do, you find yourself to the video description box below. You sign up with anybody on your screen here. You follow the simple steps that exist there to take advantage of it. And you're going to be getting yourselves the Sims tool for an entire month in any sport that you want. It could be the NFL. I mean, MLB, yeah, we're getting down to the wire here, my friend. Sunday, the regular season will be over. 15 gamers are out the window. 10 gamers are out the window. It's playoffs, baby. Playoffs. But there's still money to be made in those streets as well. If you're playing MLB DFS day in, day out, and you're looking forward to that, sign up at Onyx Odds, but also NFL. I mean, man, we're sneaking up on we're 2 months away from Thanksgiving. You could sign up at Better. You could sign up at Sleeper. You could sign up for a combination of these, and you can stack the months as you go. So take advantage of it, my friends, at the video description box below. All righty. Let's get ourselves back over here. I think I got to do this one more time. Oh, there we go. And we're going to favorite these, and we're going to go back to our exposures here. So we talked through pitching. It's a disturbing pitching slate, but let me tell you, it is not going to be as disturbing as getting to some of these stacks here, I suppose, if you're trying to get a little bit different. But we've got ourselves a little bit of Seattle here. Pretty low stack pool ownership amongst our pool there. Kansas City's popular and should be. Cleveland, pretty popular, should be. Kyler Montero in that bullpen. Ugh, what has Detroit been doing with their lives? You got to be happy as a Guardians fan, that's for sure.
Yeah, it's incredible. I mean, never seen anything like this. Biggest collapse in sports history if this holds. I mean, watching the Tigers fans just in absolute shambles is amazing. So yeah, Cleveland is on a high right now. I can't even believe they're in the playoffs. It's wild. It's incredible.
It's been an incredible time. It's also been an incredible baseball year in general. And from a DFS perspective, Matt Bellman's had an amazing year. I've had a decent year, nothing crazy. Had a really good 2024. But as I look at 2025, it's been an amazing betting year for me. And overall, DFS just continues to rock here at the Sims tool. $70 million man X. I think I got that right. Just want to say a huge thanks to you guys because I would not have been in the 5-figure range this season without catching your shows and following your guys' lead. It took me 6-pick game to the moon. It took my 6-pick game to the moon. You're welcome. You're welcome. We appreciate you. Thank you for tuning in. And I did see we had a super chat. Here we go. Note for Jason_DFS 999. Thank you so much. About to win the 1K on the early slate second takedown this week. Thanks for the breakdowns. Man, 999 to flex. I absolutely love to see it. I love to see it. Those are good things, Matt.
Yes, but do not count your just eggs before they hatch because they're still in the 9th inning to go and might be seeing a position player pitching for the Athletics here. So just saying.
Yeah, Kurtzy just hit a home run. I saw Walker hit a home run in the 8th here as well. So yeah, there's some things that have been shifting. Seeing Miami and Philly. Bryce Harper did not do anything there. But yeah, Bader just continues to hit leadoff single after leadoff single. Been absolutely insane. Harper single there. All right. Going to definitely get off and watch this one here. Hope for some homers. But let's break down the stacks here. One stack to rule them all. One stack to find them on DraftKings. Who's your favorite to get to, Matt?
Give me the Angels against Lorenzen.
Yeah.
Reverse split seat, ownership, not there. Good ballpark. I like a lot about the Angels here. If everything were equal and ownership weren't a thing, the Yankees would be the top stack because they're just the most likely offense to score the most runs. But I really like the Angels at low ownership here. Again, talked about it. Lorenzen isn't very good, in my opinion, and he's reverse splits. And he's got serious reverse splits, I should say. And it's not good facing this lineup. So give me the Angels here.
I'm torn. I have 2 lineups that I've built out. I'm going to play one of them, and I'm not exactly sure which yet because there's a lot of lefties in this lineup today that I wasn't necessarily expecting. Not that, it's a complete say-all end-all. A lot of their best hitters are left-handed, but I really wanted to go after Shota Imanaga. I think the wind is not all that pronounced. He's going to pull a lot of ownership on this slate, or a decent amount of ownership from what we talked about there. And you and I don't have a ton of interest in getting to him. So why don't I embrace in one lineup, getting some of that opportunity to just stack right up against a popular pitcher, and then find myself onto as many of these guys that I mean, Lindor, Soto, Nimmo, Beatty, like those are still three really good lefties. I'm just surprised to see all of them in there. Mark Vientos, you can only play one of him or Beatty, which is a little bit annoying. But what do you think about the Mets? Because they're the other team that I'm kind of contemplating.
Yeah, I like the Mets here. I mean, I don't think Imanaga is going to get too, he's going to be like the third highest owned pitcher on the slate. So there's some leverage there. But outside of that, I just think the Mets are a good offense against a pitcher that is just mediocre. So I got no issue with the Mets. I like the Angels slightly more, but I think those teams are in the same realm. Like, they're not the Yankees, Royals, and Mariners, so they're not going to be owned really. And I like, I think the Angels, Blue Jays, Mets, and Guardians all look pretty similar.
Yeah, they all look pretty similar. And I mean, that's kind of where I'm a little surprised to see people not clicking on Seattle as much. Like, we've got 11% ownership share for them. The pool that I ended up creating here, just about the default for what it's worth, you can kind of see over here. It didn't have as many Seattle stacks. If I were to go back through and make my pool again, I would give them a little bit of a bump up, just because I do think we'll still see them pull some ownership. Yesterday, my Seattle stacks worked out quite nicely as they hit 49,832 home runs. And now, I mean, today, you get to go up against Bradley Blaylock. I mean, what are we even doing here? This is just, Colorado is in Cabo for what it's worth.
Yeah, I mean, this Colorado team is just atrocious. Bad starting pitching, bad bullpens. Seattle looks great here. I think they're right there as the top stack on the board. Couldn't argue with anyone who wanted to prioritize them. I definitely want some Seattle exposure here. They'll get ownership, but not as much as the Royals or Yankees.
Anybody worried about the weather there? I mean, it looks a little bit like interesting, if you will. I don't think it looks abysmal by any means. I think it's going to be fine. You could get a random pop-up, and I can't tell you anything about that, but it looks like it's clear over the ballpark right now. If that changes, it's just truly a pop-up that you can't really predict. So, Sam,
where is this?
I don't know what to tell you. New York.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not worried about it. Could there be a chance at a pop-up? Sure, but I'm playing it as if it's good to go.
Yeah, same thing there with Detroit, Cleveland, for what it's worth. You kind of have the same situation. Is there a contrarian offense that you like on this slate? Because you brought up Colorado. You brought up Colorado against Emerson Hancock, which, if this were starter Emerson Hancock, one thing, but if we get 3-4 innings out of him and it goes back into a bullpen situation, a little bit less appealing, but nobody is clicking on Colorado. I mean, there's a 1% 1% stacks got thrown into our exposure here. Hey, 2.7%. So Sims aren't completely against getting overweight, I suppose, to Colorado. But who are these bats that you speak of?
Yeah, Moniak, Goodman, 1-2, Krim hitting third, all power, upside, all cheap, all facing a pitcher who has not been good as a starter in the big leagues. So who's also going to get ownership. So good combination there for some Colorado bats in tournaments. Yeah, I like Moniak leading off a ton in not Hancock lineups. I mean, he's 3,700, likely to get 4 at bats, if not more. And he's too cheap for his power speed upside. I know it's a bad ballpark, but it's a good matchup, not getting ownership. And the opposing pitcher is. I'll say this, another team that I'm not playing, but if I were playing more lineups, I'd get some exposure to it. It pains my heart to say it, but it's Detroit. I kind of look at them similar to Houston today. Both teams had been really, really struggling offensively, facing a pitcher who had been good. Now, I think Messick is better than JT Ginn, like long-term, but Ginn had been solid coming into today for a bunch of starts in a row. Houston hadn't been good. They're full of righties who Ginn is good against. They finally had a good offensive day today. Detroit, it seems like they can't get out of their own way, but this is still an offense with upside if they can put it together. They're not going to get any ownership, and Messick is. So in large field tournaments, I'd be wanting some Detroit exposure.
If I were playing more lineups, I think Toronto would be very interesting as well. I'm not the biggest Brian Bayo guy. I was when he was in AAA, and I thought this kid was going to be the second coming, because things I look for, guys with strikeout stuff and ground ball stuff. If you have the combination of the two, you are taking a lot of the variance of baseball out of play, and I can probably back you pretty successfully in the early goings until there are some adjustments. Brayan Bello is not that. He ends up going from a crazy AAA rate, strikeout rate, to having no strikeout stuff whatsoever, but the ground balls have even started to go away. He's found some success. He's kind of mixing in other pitchers rather than just peppering sinkers. He's got sweeper, changeup, four-seamer. You work through them individually, and the sweeper is a problem, 516 expected slugging next to a 365 slugging, so there's negative regression painted on that. 372 expected slugging next to a 311 slug actual slugging for a sinker, negative regression posted for that. He mixes in these other pitches and, changeup, massive split between expected slugging and actual slugging. I think there's some really bad days ahead of Brayan Bello with his current pitch mix if things don't change, if he can't get back to getting more ground balls again. And his sinker still does an okay job with it, but has a 254 batting average against it with a 279 expected batting average. So, all of his expected numbers are worse, are worse than what his actual numbers are. I love those kind of targets, but he's not pulling any ownership. We're not getting any leverage, and you kind of need Toronto to just flat out be the nuts. So I can't do it in single entry, but if I were playing more lineups, Matt, that's a team I'd really want to get to.
Yeah, it makes a ton of sense. Absolutely zero arguments with me for that one.
All right, let's jump over to the single lineup sim then here. And let's take a look at FanDuel for the people in the back, because Aaron Judge goes 43.5% ownership yesterday in the 55 and everything that I was playing over there. And, well, let me just tell you, if you didn't have him, you were in a lot of trouble. Double dong season for him. He's projected by what? 4.5 fantasy points more than the next guy on this entire slate here at the moment, or at that position. Sorry, it was the outfield there. But we've got Bobby Witt that we can pay up for, and he's actually pulling a little bit more ownership. We got Jazz, we got Trent Grisham. We've got a lot of Yankees love over here, but there's one stack on FanDuel in particular where you can only play up to 4 that I think is even more enticing over there. And that, my friends, is the Seattle Mariners going up against Colorado. You're getting pretty muted ownership on some of them. You still have Randy Arozarena and Julio Rodriguez pulling ownership there, but Jorge Polanco sitting there around 13 and Eugenio Suarez 13. There are a lot of guys that are not going to get prioritized because of the position. And you can see Michael Garcia pulling tons of ownership there for Kansas City. Give me a team like Seattle where, move the line, but also just give me some solo shots on a slate like this where I don't think the run expectation or the game environments are all that crazy on any of them outside of the Yankees going up against the White Sox, but they're pretty damn owned. I like the idea of Seattle a little bit more on FanDuel than I do on DK. Do you have a favorite FanDuel stack, Matt?
It's similar to me, as it most often is. Unless ownership is drastically different somewhere, and it's really not here. Similar top stack and ownership percentages. So I still like the Angels, although they are getting more love here. So, a team like the Mets, who's getting a little less love, stands out. And I'll say this, the Rockies, man, you don't get the Hancock leverage, but they're still in the same good spot regardless. So give me some Rockies exposure here.
Won't Seattle be pinch hitting everyone? No.
No, they're still playing to win.
They gotta win baseball games to get up to first. They got to make their Washington brethren EMAC, Eric McPherson, there in the chat. Yeah, he's been there for 180 years as a vampire wandering the night, and he is just waiting for these Seattle Mariners to have their year. This is the best opportunity since the year Kyle Seager out of the middle of nowhere said he was going to retire, and they lost game. I believe it was 163 that they lost at home. Correct me if I'm wrong, EMAC, but you would know.
They did clinch the division last night. That's why he's asking that.
Totally. And I said, I doubt you get a catching Cal Raleigh today, just coming off of,
I think you did. Their lineup came out.
Oh, it did? I did not see it roll out. So we've got Leo Rivas. Yeah. That's not going to be a catcher.
Raleigh's catching. Yeah.
Holy shit. This guy's just not built like us.
And they're still playing for, like you said, they're still playing for a lot. I mean, home field advantage and a lot. I mean, there's them, the Yankees, even the Guardians can still catch them. So, yeah.
I have basketball cards, plural, of Mookie Blaylock. So all the Mookie Blaylock love coming into chat too. Always appreciate a little NBA preview. Speaking of NBA previews, Josh Engelman, he's doing that over on his X. Go follow him at Josh Engelman over on Twitter. That would be lovely for you because he's breaking down all of the NBA teams here leading into the NBA regular season, which starts in less than a month now, which is just insane. But yeah, the M's are one game back of Toronto and New York, and they're going to be playing that. Yeah, they're going to be able to have information. Plus, don't they? Who's their series over the weekend? It's another cream puff because I know they play Colorado today. Who do they play tomorrow? It's somebody ridiculous. Nope, they play the Dodgers. That's a complete lie. I'm a liar.
The Dodgers just clinched the NL West today, though. So
it's the Yankees that get to play Baltimore. That was the deal. We get you playing FanDuel today, but come on, a waste of time off the screen. How about you fuck off? How about that? I do what I want. There you go. We'll build out a DraftKings lineup just for you. Would that make you happy? Would that make you love me? Let's throw in Emerson Hancock and Carlos Rodon into a lineup. Who do we want to throw into our stack, Matt Bellman, to round out our program? Give our homers and get out of here.
I want the Angels, man.
Oh, baby. Let's do it. So we're going to go. I'm requiring Nolan Schanuel. The annual Schanuel ball. Now that makes me think of Dumb or Dumber. Here we go. Mike Trout, Joe Adele. Never mind, I'm fine. Anybody else that you want to play?
Yeah. I think Mike Trout looks good here.
Got him.
Let's go Moncada at third.
Got it.
So we have the 1, 2, 3, 4.
We do.
Let's just run it with the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 and Chris Taylor.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Chris Taylor. We're going to throw him in at second here. I have 5% randomness. We're going to complete this lineup and see what we get thrown together. Sal Perez, Bobby Witt, Mike Grichuk. Full-on game stack. Open the flood gates. Let's see what we get. It's a great lineup. Unfortunately, no one. What a unique way to stack the Angels. You're very welcome. Did you see what it says on the screen? It says 54.2% simulated ROI, which in our simulations is pretty damn good. So I'm going to call that pretty awesome. Pretty awesome, Tom Olson. How about you just pick Matt Olson to hit a home run today and just shut up? How does that sound? Yeah, home runs. Let's do that. I haven't even gotten to use this forever. I'm just going to pretend Emacs singing. Dang of the day. Yep. I want to plug my ears too. You did do this. You had to do that. It's terrifying.
Let's get ourselves my hat, but I wanted to do that.
Totally understand. Anyway, let's get ourselves something good for the people. A homer. Let's give them a homer, shall we? Who is going yard in your lineups tonight?
I like it when you sing, so give me Joe Adele.
Never mind. He's in my single entry lineup, so that makes me very happy. I got one off the board. We're going to get a little bit off the board. We're going to go to Francisco Lindor. For whatever reason, I mean, Bobby Witt is pulling like 43% ownership on FanDuel. DK is going to pull a lot of ownership. Francisco Lindor being contrarian is always fun to me, and he will be against Shota Imanaga. So there's that. Throw your home run plays into chat here as we conclude our program. We've got Canzone home run. We got Moore from LA. Oh, Moore. It's from Men in Black when he's putting the sugar with water. We've got J Ram. That's always lovely to see. The song, oh Lord, stop copying my builds. You're very welcome. Great defenders as in TA. Cal Raleigh, great Sotex. Also very contrarian. Almost as contrarian as our 1 through 5 Angels. So again, make money. That's the name of the game. I don't care. 1 through 5. I think we did a pretty unique build still with 5-3 game stack. So cool.
Yeah, leading 1,700 on the board. I mean, certainly.
Trent Grisham, almost bet him today. Ended up on Cody Bellinger plus 400, just like 90 cents better. Long-term, better ROI for it. Crawford, that would be wild. Dominic Canzone. Romy Gonzalez off Lauer. I saw that Greg was on that one. I didn't get plus 750, so I kept it off. JP Crawford. Yeah, another JP Crawford. Lots of Crawford love. So with that, go follow at Fantasy Tips Matt, my guy. Right now. Do that while we're talking, and he's going to tell you what he's up to. And yeah, any final words for the people as we get out of here?
No, that's all I got, man. Good luck to everyone tonight.
Good luck to everybody tonight. Go Angels, go Mets. That's really all I got for you. And don't forget, in 35 minutes, NFL Live before lock, breaking down the showdown slate. We got an awesome NFC West. My brain needed to process quick. NFC West showdown here. Seahawks, Cardinals in the desert. We'll see you guys there. Well, actually, I'll just be in chat trolling. I'm sure that's basically it. He's Matt. He's awesome. I'm Eric. I'm very mediocre. We'll see you guys later. Bye.